This video is to take a look at the impact that Justice Hill and J.K. Dobbins had individually. Of course, they're not on the field together ever. Rarely recall the Ravens using 20 personnel and having two actual athletes back there at running back. Occasionally late 2020, we did that with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. I offer to you that you may see it soon. I wonder if you're going to see it against the Bengals this week in Week 5. But that's an aside and maybe a topic for a different video. They both had a huge impact, if you ask me. I know the yards per carry for J.K. was lower, but he got 2 touchdowns. I thought he also had 2 big catches in the pass game. Justice Hill, I mean, what can you say about Justice Hill? It's like a comeback story that no one expected. I'll be straight up. I did not expect this level of production from him. So, I was way wrong. Did I think he would make the team? Did I think he would be on the roster, possibly as a special teams guy, a running back in case things go wrong? Yeah, I thought that was possible. I thought it was also possible that he didn't make the roster. I was way wrong on that, and I'm happy to be wrong. When a person comes back from an injury, J.K., Gus, any of those guys, you have to root for them, at least if you're a fan of the team, if you ask me. Comeback stories, we love comeback stories. There's something in our human nature that we love comeback stories, probably going back thousands of years. And in sports, we focus it on the people who do that, and maybe they lose a step. Man, but Justice Hill seems to have gained a step. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. That's the part that is really cool to see. His commitment to his angle, his commitment to the track they give him. He caught a lot of flack online for a run against the Dolphins a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And yeah, you think there might be more yards cutting it up inside that block by Likely. I don't know. Would you trust a block by Isaiah Likely at this point? I'm just saying, I trust Justice Hill and his reads. Maybe that play looks bad, especially that still shot that a lot of people threw around. But still shots don't do things justice, if you ask me. All right, let's transition into some of the film. We're going to start with Dobbins first. Man, I don't know about you, but Dobbins and Hill sounds like some ice cream you buy in like Southeast Pennsylvania on the way to Philly or something. It sounds weird. So that's why I went with that title. Shovel Pass, this is like our new thing, I guess. I think this is the 3rd time we've run it this year. The cool thing here is we're doing it with a running back. So we got Ricard going in motion to hopefully pull a defender. It didn't really have any impact on this edge defender at Matt Milano at all. He's attacking Lamar very much like TJ Watt does. So this is a play that you could see us run against the Steelers or even the Bengals. And the cool thing about this with JK is he's a running back, so he can bounce off of people naturally. That's what he's been doing his whole life, and then convert it into a touchdown. All right, it's a reception by J.K. You see he motioned out. He's going to chip the D end, which is a great idea. And then Lamar scrambles. Matt Milano has made the decision to come forward and try to attack Lamar. And he's kind of caught in no man's land. This is Milano here. He's a great player. Like, I did a film study 2 weeks ago on him. I don't know if you guys watched it. I'd appreciate it if you would check it out. I'm going to try to do film studies on upcoming players. That's the whole point of me, going and getting them. But JK's good at finding this space, super aware. I'm not sure that the burst is there right yet, to be honest with you. I don't know if I would say he's 100% because inline, straight line speed, he's faster than he looks. I think he's faster than he looks. At this point in time, once he gets back to 100%, I think we'll see him, bust a little bit longer runs. But the moves are there, the body control, the ability to avoid big hits, unless you're talking one like that where he's dodging a second defender. Under center, J.K. back in the backfield with Pat Ricard. This draw plays in the playbook, and we're using it a lot. I like it. The only thing is we got to throw this hitch out here at some point, or smoke screen, whatever you want to call it. My terminology that I know is just a hitch. Some people will call it a smoke. Sometimes we would call the hitch out here, designed to give this guy a little bit more space, force these guys to attack, and then the idea is the draw kind of opens up a little more. You can see that it does get the linebackers moving, and we get a nice job by Falele. I think I'm going to give you the end zone angle on this one. So there's plenty of burst here. I'm not saying that JK doesn't have burst. I'm just saying that I think he has a little more than maybe he's shown. My apologies. I thought I gave you the end zone angle. I did not. Play action slips out into the left flats. I'm going to bring this up, even though I talked about this in a previous video that premiered earlier on. This is a 1st and 10. These things are available to us, particularly when we're under center. This is where I think our coaching staff defaulted and didn't do a great job. Now, this is a great job, though, in terms of the design. I think you can Duvernay on something like this, and Andrews, something like this. You know he's going to draw attention. What's it do? It clears out all this space down here for JK to run onto. late, once everybody's already gone upfield in terms of the rushers, and once everybody's already dropped back in terms of, the pass coverage guys. Almost like a de facto screen. And it's using Andrews' gravity. So I'm down with that. I said in another video, and I'm not sure that it was received very well, that I think we should be targeting Andrews less. I think he should be part of the read less. We have other talented guys who can do the job. The one thing about JK to me that's was there and is still there is he's always able to slide and get a little bit more yards than maybe he should have. This is a 7-yard gain, guys. It just doesn't look like it should be a 7-yard gain. Now, granted, they've got a DB over here, a corner, playing, this outside, this wide 9, and then they've got a 6 technique, an actual DN. So the mismatch, they're saying the mismatch is our tight end against their D end. So, yeah, Oliver struggles with him a little bit. And it's clogged up somewhat, but JK's just going to find that space. That's what he's done. I mean, guys like J.K. Dobbins have probably played running back since they were like 6, Coaches probably had to take them off the field in practice so they could actually get something done on defense. Otherwise, dealing with J.K. Dobbins is pure misery. Cool play. Cool play from a design standpoint. We getting Duvernay going across. And then we're going to pull our left guard, and I think we're going to kick out the DN. What they do is they stem the D end inside to the B gap. So Moses just takes him down. So this number 3, this DB, ends up being the D end. And he gets kicked out. Ricard, the timing of it is weird. We haven't figured out the timing here. You guys see that? Let me let it run a few times and let y'all see the timing of it. But JK does have enough burst there to get up through there, and he understands the angle he's got to take. Watch him follow Ricard and then bounce it back outside. He just skips off of people. This little skip right here, where it looks like you've got at least 2 hands or arms making contact with him, you can tell how many times he's done running back drills in his life. It's just second nature. Beautiful, man. I'm just so happy he's back for our team and for us as fans, but for him personally, because, his career trajectory was unbelievable after his rookie year. Correct me if I'm wrong, 6 yards per carry. So here's that same play from the end zone angle. You'll get a nice view of what they do with Rousseau, slamming into B gap, bringing this guy off the edge. Definitely looks like this play was called, by the coaches in the huddle. I don't think this is a check by Lamar, but it's a great call for the stunt they're bringing. Moses just takes him down. Ricard gets Milano, the front side inside linebacker. Powers gets himself some DB. Whenever you're a lineman and you want to get a shot on a defensive back, man, you want to take that because you want that on your highlight reel. Look at the scene. Great design, like it. I think the timing is slightly off because it looks like a concept that's been introduced later than others. All right, in the pistol again. This is his touchdown. This lead play. Again, we're trying to Jill ISO this. So we're not smooth with it yet. I wonder if maybe Andrews has to be a step deeper on it, or if we're trying to get him to help. So Jill ISO, the tackle is going to step to Von Miller, and he's going to try to push him out this way. He's not going to expand him as much as them 2 lines that I just drew. But we're trying to expand Von Miller there, and then Andrews is tightly aligned. But I think his feet need to be another 6 inches back. He's supposed to step in and then go ISO somebody on the front side. ISO just means lead block. And then Ricard is also leading. It's designed to go in this gap right here. We call it Jill ISO. Offense that I was introduced to one of the first years I coached, we call it Jill. If we called it Jack, then the tight end would have to scoop this D end, and the tackle would go get himself some nickel safety. That would be a Jack call, and they would make that call at the line themselves. Those 2, based upon the alignment and what they saw and what they had been taught that week. In terms of JK, he's just following Ricard. And again, man, he's so strong. He's so much stronger than people would suspect. And I think, don't take this the wrong way, Ravens fans. I think the NFL, I don't want to say every NFL team, 10 or 12 other NFL teams probably have a J.K. Dobbins who could handle 10, 12, 14 carries a game, but just isn't going to get that opportunity because of, the other running backs on the team. This draw play, the car's kind of standing up. I like some of the things we're trying to do blocking-wise. We're pass setting with Moses to try to get this guy upfield, and then Oliver's coming down on the Mike, which is I'm calling Edmonds the Mike and Milano the Will. They may refer to it differently. Milano just makes a great play. He's unblocked. Because Falele, again, it's like the third time I've seen Falele have to get with Milano, and he's just so quick that he's not, Falele's not able to get to him correctly. He disrupts the play. I'm not down on Daniel Falele. I think he's shown a lot of potential. I'm glad we got him. Huge, asset for being a 4th round pick. I'm super glad, that we got him. But there was 3 times in the game where it looked like he was assigned to block Matt Milano, based upon the rules, and was unable to do so. Okay. Justice Hill, man. This is our screen guy. When he's back here, you have to think of this if you're the defense, because his burst is so significant. Now, it's not a huge gain here. Right there. I'm gonna let that run again, and I'm just gonna pull that back just so you can see his burst. I think it's right around the 18. So I'm gonna pull this back. Let it run 2 or 3 times. No, it's not a huge gain. We're not scoring a touchdown on that. Probably might not score a touchdown the whole year on that. But JK has such a commitment to the running lane that he has, and that the coaches tell him to run on. I bet he's a coach's dream, for real, in terms of teaching him something, and he's going to do it the way you teach him. 1 back power. I guess really it's 2 back power because Ricard's pulling and kicking. We're pulling Linderbaum on this, and I love it. Linderbaum goes and gets Milano. Doesn't knock him down. Milano just kind of falls. But he pulled out here, got Milano. Ricard kicks out the end. So I'm going to pull this back one more time. What I was saying about Justice Hill was intentional prior to that play. He runs on the track he's supposed to. Say we're pulling Moses as well, so it's actually a counter. I missed that on first view. Bounces it outside, and that's the thing with Justice is, right? When he is bouncing things, it's because there's green grass outside, and he's making people miss. Or they're just not even touching him. Now, this guy touches him, but I hope his hamstring is good to go because we need him. I mean, for real, we need him at this point. All right, under center. Back to the right. I mean, you've watched enough film at this point of this game in this video. If you're watching the whole time, what do you think this is? Come on. You can't be this predictable. We've got to throw some stuff to these receivers out of this under center alignment. We're not going to be able to keep going under. The Cincinnati Bengals, when we go under center, Ricard is to the right. Doesn't matter who's back here. And Andrews is to the right of the offense. The defense is left. Tightly aligned. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to be hollering out, draw, draw, draw. Now, we've got to, at some point, run our classic over concept with Andrews, try to get him open on this. But look at the Bills. They've walked the safety up, blitzing him off the edge again. In this case, it's a huge gain by Justice Hill. He's playing amazing, man. I'm a diehard Ravens fan at this point, and the work that I'm doing, and this is fun for me. Not that you care, maybe, but the work that I'm doing just makes me even more of a diehard Ravens fan. That's why I was so pissed off Sunday night. Draw play. Falele actually gets Milano this time. This is later in the game. Look at Falele releasing inside of the D end, who's trying to get hands on him. So we're letting Powers, the left guard, take the D end. Linderbaum take the D tackle. And Falele's going to go get Milano this time. This is later in the game. Went and got him. Ricard got Edmonds. Great job. Both of these guys are capable. I think Lamar, if you take Lamar's stats out, we're like 89 yards rushing between the two of them. So, yeah, we would like to see more big plays like this one. We certainly don't want to see him have to pull up. By the way, look at the formation. Under center. Ricard to our right. Tight end to our right. Come on. No, I'm not trying to be arrogant. It's just the blessings I've been given people to show me the game and how to look at formations. It becomes somewhat easy to predict these things, even for NFL teams, because it's football. There's only so many formations you can be in, So you can see the Bills have read this much better. Watch the fill that you get from Edmonds. My God. Look at this. This is how you're supposed to play when you recognize something. I think he's probably my guess is he's probably reading Ricard at this point. Watch Ricard pop up. I'm going to let this go 2 or 3 times. Watch Ricard pop up. So if you're reading fullback, which we would generally, if you're reading fullback, you're going to teach your kids, hey, you see him pop up like that, that's draw, attack right now, boom. But it doesn't matter. Justice Hill just bounces it outside. That's an NFL safety who's come screaming up to the line, number 3. And Justice Hill just says, nope, not today. And then his hamstring says the same thing to him. Unfortunate for us, because I feel like he was surging. And that's one of the benefits of splitting carries, is that you get running backs late in the game. They might be completely, cardio, 100% terms of cardio, and can give you a little more than they would have if they had 20, 22 carries at that point. Good good communication. Milano, Edmonds were both pointing to the safety because they recognize the formation. I know they sometimes mic up players. I'd like to hear, I'd like for them to put that mic, that night games are always like a camera kind of like hanging up here, maybe 35, 40 feet off the ground. I'd like to hear the communication from the linebackers. That's what I'm about. I want to hear that and how they're communicating formations. We can't be this predictable. Otherwise, it's going to come back to haunt us. I'm going to be up in the chat, obviously, as this premieres. So we're in shotgun now, A gun, 21 personnel, so 2 backs. Tight end over here, 2 receivers here. We have got to attack down here. We've got some of these formations somebody's got to be looking at in the Ravens staff and saying, okay, we've ran this formation 17 times, and we're 14 run and 3 pass. Let's line up in this formation, and let's go pass the first 2 times. Let's betray our tendencies. This is another one that Falele misses. Falele is the left tackle. He's supposed to combo if there's somebody to combo. If there's nobody to combo, go get the backside inside linebacker, which is Milano. This end right here, I think, is Lawson. I might be wrong on the name. He's going to get kicked by Zeitler. We got the makings of a good play. Ricard is rapping to go get Edmonds. We got a hat for a hat. But Falele just whiffs. And Milano's there. The one thing we'll say about Justice Hill on this play, he trusts his read. He trusts his coaches. He trusts his track. This is essentially F counter, so you're not going to bounce it. So there's no consideration or question about that. He's not Adrian Peterson or somebody who has the right to do that sometimes. But he trusts his track. He takes a hell of a hit here, though. Clearly. I'm a huge fan of Justice Hill, man. I hope to do a big film study. I know that there's, these guys ain't looking at film that somebody like me creates, but to put out there in the universe the respect and admiration that Dobbins and Hill, for coming back the way they have. Dobbins was pissed at practice multiple times because he wasn't able to practice. Then apparently he was pissed because he was inactive. Have y'all seen that gif by Donald Glover? I think it's Donald Glover, where it's like, good. It's a good thing for a grown man to be pissed if you're a competitor. J.K. Dobbins and Justice Hill are competitors, man. Huge fan of them. I know I kind of digressed some in this video and had talked about offensive line play and some of the other things, but I feel like I should do that, and I'll enjoy doing that for you. If you enjoy it, please let me know. I don't want to just talk about the player like, oh, look at his burst. Oh, look at his jump cut. Oh, look at this. There's a lot going on that makes the play work or not work in some cases. And J.K. and Dobbins are the beneficiaries in this game of some good run blocking schemes, if you ask me. Unfortunately, our coaches, as you hopefully saw in the previous video that premiered tonight, I believe our offensive coaches kind of let us down in being very predictable on 1st and 10. Took the Bills about quarter and a half, maybe 2 quarters to recognize that and adjust. And then every 1st and 10 from there on out, they were eight men in the box, sometimes 9, saying, okay, go ahead, let's see you run against this. And at some point, we got to throw on 1st and 10 early, try to loosen people up. Bengals are a smart defense Sunday, man. Just as smart as the Bills, just as aware, just as savvy, just as well coached. And they're going to be geared up for those tendencies. And we've got to break those keys. And we got to give them a different look in the same situation so we can take advantage of their counter, to our tendencies. Appreciate you guys' time. Please let me know what you think of the video, what you think of my breakdown. Consider liking the video. I'm no longer begging for those during the chat. You should be liking the content. If you watch this long period, you should be liking the content. Appreciate you guys' time. Please consider sharing this on social media if you enjoy my breakdown of Justice Hill and J.K. Dobbins in Week 4.